Okay, welcome back everyone. This is video number 3 in my 75-gallon reef tank build. Last video I went over where I was at with the stand that I'm building. Still a little bit of work to do on that. But in this one I just wanted to show you real quick my overflow box. I decided to build my own after looking online and looking at some of the prices. I knew I could do it a lot cheaper. Another reasons I was able to get some really nice size samples, some, various thicknesses to build my own. So the only thing I had to do was invest money in the acrylic cement. Decided to use Weldon 16. And one thing I'll say about Weldon, great acrylic cement. They have different flavors of it. I decided to use 16 because 16 is messier. Bottom line, it's a lot more tacky, a lot thicker. And the reason for that is if you have gaps in the surfaces or the edges that you're gluing, it'll fill those gaps. So if you're not really confident in your cuts, you're going to have nicks, chips, holes, or whatever, and your edges aren't going to fit cleanly, then use 16. If you make some pretty smooth cuts, then definitely use 3 or 4. It's a lot more liquidy, and it just flows in the joints, and it works great. But for this one, I decided to use 16. Next time, I'll definitely use 3 or 4 because I had no problems with my cuts. First thing you'll notice here is I have 2 boxes. No, I don't plan on using 2 boxes, but in the first one, for whatever reason, I designed it that the front panel rested on top of the bottom, and what that does is it shows the get in front of the camera here. It shows the edge. It shows the rough cut edge. And again, it's going to be in the tank. It's not something I'm sure you would notice, but I saw it, and since I had plenty of samples, I decided to build another one. And on this particular one, and again, I built 4-sided overflow boxes. This back is clear. On the one that I'm going to use, it has a deep blue color piece of acrylic, and I just decided to use that sample. Thought it looked pretty good. And in this case, I brought the front panel down flush, or I'm sorry, to cover the edge of the bottom piece. The dimensions on the box, it is 8 by 5 by 4. So decided on those dimensions, again, based on what I saw online, based on the volume, gallons per hour, and that I plan to achieve, with my plumbing. So the size is going to work perfectly. One thing about the 4-side is that it will attach to my tank using the bulkheads. The ones I saw online, you would actually epoxy them or silicone those to the tank. I will cut holes. I will drill my tank, and then I will match up those holes and drill holes in the back of the overflow box. Now, a question I have, if someone can comment on this, is there's going to be a gasket on the inside of the overflow box that will go underneath the flange of the bulkhead. Now, should the next gasket go between the overflow box, the back of the overflow box, and the tank, or should it go on the outside of the tank, between the tank and the bulkhead nut? So if someone could give me some feedback on that, I would appreciate it. Another thing you'll probably notice is I decided to not go with teeth on these. I could have routed out made it a little bit longer and routed out spaces for the teeth, but I decided not to, just based on some of the comments that I saw online about better skimming with surface skimming, I think that's the term. Without it, I do plan on using a top. I built this little top that fits on here perfectly. I have my little feet or legs on here, so it slides on there. I probably have about a half-inch gap there to keep critters out of the box. Going to use the Herbie method, 2 overflows, or two drains, I should say. The main drain, main siphon, and then a backup. So again, came out pretty good. We'll use this one. This one will be a backup. Again, the only difference is the edge here. I did run a bead of Weldon after I cemented everything down, just to further waterproof the inside. Make sure it doesn't leak. So I'll fill it with some water and test it just to make sure, but I'm confident I won't have any problems. But that's my overflow box. Again, any comments or questions, please post them. And if anyone could give me some comments on, as far as the gaskets, how it should be set up, I would appreciate appreciate that. But again, it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with them. In the next video, I will hopefully be showing you my tank that has been drilled with my overflows and my return. Never drilled a tank before. It's going to be, interesting. Doing all the planning, making sure I do it the right way, because the last thing I want to do is crack the glass. But again, here are my overflows. Comments, please post them. Next video coming soon. Talk to you later.